Alright, welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode number 19. The last 4 episodes. Let's get started, shall we? Now, in the case of basically 95, 94, it's 95, 96, two standalone episodes that you would not think these are the final ones, but they are the last two standalone episodes they have for Kamen Rider. Yes, it is the last official one for because the last two episodes are mostly put two straight standalone episodes. First one involves a bull where the whole thing is okay. Apparently, Guy Sharker's plan for this one is make cars fly and then drop them while people are inside of them, causing massive amount of deaths. And the way they show this off is by having a car as there was a float, and then of course, actually there's two biggest float in the episode. One was the car starting out was an ambulance, which has the surviving driver, which he himself disappears like right afterwards. It's like they don't mention him, they don't mention what happened to him. He just falls out, runs away, never seen again. Though when this was actually also a habit where the third time in this thing where the Kamen Rider's dead, so everyone thinks he's dead, even though he isn't, and then he comes back at the end, he knocks out the horns and beats the monster. That's pretty much the gist of 96. 95. 96? Here's one for you. Where the thing is, okay, so they kidnap a scientist whose specialty is basically studying cactus. And they transform her into a cactus monster. It's called Cactus Bat. Basically, half bat, half cactus. And he goes around turning people to cactuses. Human cactuses, mind you. Eventually, at one point, the Kamen Rider himself, even the boss, Totobi, even they get infected with this stuff with their hands. Though then of course you have the creature come in to smash all the equipment. But he inadvertently created the vaccine, basically the cure for this damn stuff. So the boss gets it first, and his hands basically restore normal. And eventually everybody restored normal, and eventually Kamen Rider beats him up, and the thing ends. The last two are basically a two-parter, because the 97 ends with a cliffhanger. 97 is noteworthy for two things. Number one, we have a debut of the last official monster for Guy Shocker, Leech Chameleon, which his purpose, suck blood people so they can revive dead monsters. And what monsters revive? Pretty much every single monster that the Kamen Rider beats over the course of the previous episodes. Every single one pretty much get revived here. And the first one it brings back is the first one we see in this era. Well, actually, first show up in episode 78. So he comes back here, and he gets beat pretty easily by Kamen Rider. Probably gets a little bit stronger since then. Then eventually, over time, more of these shocker creatures come back. And thanks to also some escapees. Oh yeah, we also find out in the final episode that Leech Chameleon is actually General Black. Which, of course, basically, that was quite obvious. Also, 98, because it's a fun episode, let's have another return for Kamen Rider number 2, which I'll get to how he returns is quite interesting. So, 97 is also known for something else. It's the sole appearance of a character known as Dr. D. Because after this, the guy's only seen flashbacks. He is never seen physically after this. We see him for this one scene, and that's it. Basically, he comes up with a way to temporarily stop Hogo from transforming to Kamen Rider number 1. Which happens at the end of this episode. Yes. And the whole point of the plan, aside from bringing back dead monsters, because Guy Shocker has finally launched the big major offensive against Japan. That's the simple gist of it. Yep. And the habit where Leech can horrors him in a room, which I did notice though I was watching it. Apparently the costume was coming apart in the back. Yes, it's not like the zipper was coming loose. Oh no, the thing looked like it was coming apart, and then apparently by the next scene it's fixed. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So of course he's frozen stiff, and then it looks like you're about to see Yuri donate blood to revive a dead monster. And then Kamen Rider 2 shows up, beats the crap out of the Leech Monster and the Leech Chameleon and the Doctor, frees Taki and the boss. And then, of course, well, this, of course, is in episode 98. And then we have basically the Kamen Riders. Well, first, before this, they have it where they chase the monsters. Well, actually, they chase Leech Chameleon. And eventually, the monsters are dragged to this one park. And of course, then they reveal, oh yeah, we knew all along that General Black was Leech Chameleon. They say all Guile Shock Commanders are monsters. Minor plot hole there. Gale Shocker was only introduced prior to this. Was only introduced 18, just like, not even 18 episodes prior to this one. They were only introduced back in episode 80. And they say all the Submarine Commanders, he was only the fourth one we had over the course of 98 episodes. And after a pretty good battle, he's beaten. And then the other monsters are pretty much beaten for the last time. And to my knowledge, those monsters never return after this. Not in any other Kamen Rider series. As far as I can tell, all those monsters are all dead. And then, of course, the Gale Shocker leader, yeah, he finally makes a physical appearance. First time since episode 34. Yes. It had been that freaking long since his last physical appearance in the series. That was on a TV screen. And it looks like he's about to kill the Kamen Riders with a bunch of explosions. And apparently with General Black dead, like, oh, he's out of monsters, out of Supreme Commanders. And I'm kind of like, what about people who ran Geldom, the organization he had to merge with and form Gale Shocker? Apparently they're all gone, and then we have the Kamen Riders break into the main headquarters of Gale Shocker in Japan, where we finally see the leader in person. Yes, the guy who, by all appearances, looks like the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Yes, seriously. And, yeah, trying to figure out secret identity. Pulls the mask, and it's a head full of snakes. Yep. And then they still don't believe it, and they grab it in a little smoke, and reveal another face, where it's like this chalk white face with with not much of a mouth or nose. It's cracking, and he's a Cyclops. And apparently, right after that, he proceeds to collapse and blow up. All because they took off the snake mask. Yep, that was some of the reason. He dies and the base explodes. Yep, last we'll see a Gale Shocker. And then immediately afterwards, Taki flies back home to the United States. We'll say goodbye, everybody. And here's the thing. He is never seen again in the franchise. Nope. Does not return after this. I looked up. This was his last appearance. He never returns after this. With the exception of the boss, like the other supporting characters, the girls, the kids, they don't return after this. Now, in the next one, the next time I'm going to cover is V3. That's the next one I cover because it's a sequel to this one. The Kamen Rider Riders with Boy Squad, that does return. The character seen here, never seen again. The girls, never seen again. The boss, meanwhile, he does return for the next several of these. He returns for V3, Amazon, X, Stronger, and that's it. He appears in those. V3, he appears in pretty much the whole thing. The other ones, I won't spoil exactly when they show up. He doesn't show up for the whole thing of basically for X, Amazon, and Stronger, but he's there for a good chunk of it. Yeah, he's pretty much there as a mentor for the first several Kamen Riders. And it's nice the fact they kept the character on. The guy is a pretty good actor. As in the case of Kamen Rider 1 and 2, they will return after this in the start of the very next Kamen Rider. I will not spoil what happens to them, but I'll get to that. So, only 3 return, and everyone else never seen again. In the case of the Great Shocker Leader, mind you, this actually is his original form. There is several incarnations of the leader throughout the franchise, and we might see another one down the future. Yeah, and it appears as though that the Great Shocker Leader, appearance-wise, physically the guy is kind of weak. And I'm like, okay, you hid behind some monitor someplace for 97 straight episodes, and then you finally finally make appearance. Yeah, I get the reason why Kamen number 2 was brought back for this fun episode. It's the last one, so why not have him make appearance? I mean, after all, the Gale Shocker slash Gale Shocker leader get a lot of torment over the course of the series. Of course, he make a physical appearance. Yep, but yeah, damn good four episodes. And next episode, my final thoughts on the original Kamen Rider run. Okay, next video. Bye.